Hi, welcome to a new video of Fashion Class. I'm Elio Heres and today is the Fashion Makes Sense Award. The Fashion Makes Sense Award is an award for young designers to work more sustainable and also to raise more awareness for sustainable fashion. I'm on my way to the Fashion Makes Sense Award now. I'm gonna hop in this day as Crossback and interview one of the contestants, Gal Yakobovitch. So let's go! Hi, Gal.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for being here.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for
Good to have
having me.
you here. You were born in Israel and also lived in the United States. How does that influence your work?
So I've lived in Israel most of my life, and then I moved to New York for my studies at Parsons. It definitely. So in Israel, I lived in like a tiny fisherman's village, and moving to New York is something that I've always wanted. And it's definitely a change in lifestyle, but it suits me, I feel like. But there are a lot of influences in both what I do.
And what is the biggest change in your lifestyle?
So coming from like a tiny place that is really close to the water to like a really big city that's always moving and super crazy, it's a change in like the pace of life and like the craziness of what you do, but it's also there are a lot of more things to do and there are more opportunities, and that's one of the reasons that I moved to New York.
So do you feel like a small town girl living in the big city?
Yeah, maybe when I moved there, now I feel quite local, I have to say. I hope that it shows, but yeah.
And you have a really cool, developed a really cool collective, Make More It Collective. What is it?
So Make More It Collective started as my thesis project, my final year at Parsons. It's basically two things wrapped into one. So the first is a biodegradable surfboard collection that was made through manufacturing techniques that are common in surfboard manufacturing. And so they were made through a collaboration with Mechmoret. Mechmoret is a small fisherman's village in Israel right by where I live.
Right, yeah.
And so they have a lot of surfboard manufacturers over there, and then I collaborated with them to create my garments, basically to show how fashion can be made in various different ways, and if we can tap into other manufacturing techniques and consolidate manufacturing, fashion can advance into additive manufacturing or other more sustainable ways of production.
Cool. So did you actually make the collection in Mechmoret, or did you go there, picked up the pieces and went to New York?
So it was kind of like a back and forth. I went a lot to Israel during my final year, and I had some interviews there with the surfboard makers and kind of learned their techniques. My father used to manufacture surfboards there, so I also learned from him, and there was a lot of back and forth talk.
So there's actually the big influence from Mechmoret, where you were born to New York. That is the influence, I guess.
Yeah.
And did you start making sustainable fashion right away, or did you grow into it?
So where I lived, there was a lot of talk about sustainability, always, a lot of composting, it's mandatory, and so they're always talk about sustainability, but I've never dealt with it professionally until the past year, when I was kind of thinking to myself, I just made another collection. I'm like, but what am I doing? There has to be something more, or something that I can do. Yeah. So I found my realm is in textile. I do a lot of textile manipulation throughout my work, and now I found something that I'm truly passionate about pursuing, also within textile, because they make biodegradable materials.
So you will continue making sustainable fashion?
Yes.
Cool. And what is the biggest difficulty with making sustainable fashion?
The difficulty is, so to make something sustainable, there are so many different facets for it. So it's the sourcing of the material, the labor, the finishing, the hours and time spent, how is it disposed of, and where is it distributed. So if you want to make something truly sustainable, you need to consider all of these factors.
Yeah, you cannot throw away a thing. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, it's not just about the material, and it's not just about the manufacturing. It has to be like a full.
It's a total package. Yeah.
It's a total package. Yeah. Exactly.
So a lot of mind thought goes into it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of planning. There's a lot of it's difficult, but it's manageable. I mean.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's hopeful.
People should do
And what is the biggest reward?
The biggest reward, I feel like, so the sense of contribution, as at the beginning of the year, I read a book by Timothy Morton. He's a British philosopher that writes about the ecological crisis and why is it so hard for people to understand or grasp or react to it. And so one of the things that he says is that the one thing you can do is choose something that you're passionate about and do that.
Do that sustainable.
And you can't tackle everything that's wrong with the world, but you can tackle at least one thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is my one thing that I feel like I can contribute.
Yeah.
And I also offer all my materials and techniques as open source information.
To make it more collective. Yeah.
Make more collective.
So then you inspire other people to do sustainable fashion as well.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And you made a collection for, you took one piece, right, for the Fashion Makes Sense Award. Mm-hmm. Can you describe your collection in 3 words?
In 3 words. Reforming manufacturing, that's 2 words, but it's like one. I'll give it a title.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah.
So, reforming manufacturing, textile innovation, and open source education.
Cool. There's a lot of depth in those words. Why those words?
I mean, I feel like the collection is spread out to those 3 main points. So the textile innovation comes from the biomaterials that mimic the materials that are originally used in surfboard production.
Okay.
And that goes to reforming manufacturing because it's taking a manufacturing technique that already exists, but using it to create something completely different.
Okay, yeah.
So it's almost like hacking manufacturing techniques. And finally, open source education is something that I'm super passionate about, and I feel like if there is something, fashion should be shared, and techniques and information, I think, should be shared at the time that we're at right now in fashion. So that's a big point.
Yeah, amazing. It almost feels like the sort of from beginning till end you take us with you. That's really cool. And what does winning or the Fashion Makes Sense Award mean to you?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to be in a competition that puts sustainability on this high level. Yeah. And I've seen like the other competitors work, and it's such a competitive event. Like everyone is so amazing, and it's such an honor to be in such a level with everyone else. So it's super exciting to be here. And
you graduated like 4 or 5 months ago, and now you're here. It's like amazing. Yeah,
it is.
So tap yourself on the shoulders. And what is the future hold for you?
I hope for more and more collaborations. Right now I'm collaborating with Future Tech Lab in New York, and with another friend of mine that also does sustainable work in another realm. His name is Ben Peleg, designer from New York. And I'm also doing another collaboration with Luxurity from Hong Kong, creating a line of bags, biodegradable, sustainable bags.
Okay, cool.
So hopefully more and more things like that, because I love to collaborate.
Are you going to do the reforming techniques as well with the bags?
Yes, 100%. Additive manufacturing and taking manufacturing techniques from other industrial places is what I aim to do always.
And with each collaboration, do you want to share that and make it more collective as well? Is that always possible, do you think?
I think so. At least I will share a version or something. I also do workshops, so I tend to give a lot of information through that as well. I had a workshop at Parsons where I taught sort of what I do now for Luxurity in a modified sense. So I always like try to share something.
Okay, cool. Well, I think I had it all, but good luck today with the Fashion Sense Award.
Thank you so much for this.
So we arrived at the Fashion Makes Sense Award. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to watch the after movie as well. And I'm going in now. See you in the next video.